Yo, what's going on, everyone? What's going on? All the Young Guns listeners, welcome back into another episode of the Young Guns podcast, episode 2 of this revamped version of the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We got William in the chat, 3-0. Here we come. This beat is fire. I appreciate it, man. I hope YouTube is running okay because I just posted a video probably an hour or two ago, and it was having trouble like giving me the comment section. I don't know why. I hope that doesn't affect the live chat, but
Yeah,
I hope that doesn't go that doesn't affect the live chat. But what's up, Kush? What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. What's up, yo? Well, shout out to everybody in here as you're coming in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and definitely share the stream out. As you guys saw, carrying over from last week, you see the number. It's episode 2 because it's the new season.
Yes,
And
sir.
you saw it with the intro. You saw it with the waiting music. We're doing things over here.
Sir.
We're getting more organized too. For like the first time for these past 2 weeks, we got organized topics. So like we're not just
Right?
we're not just going in here
We're not
anymore.
freeballing this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you guys make your presence known in the comments section, just so we can shout you guys out and appreciate that you guys are here. William Ruffin says, finally caught y'all. It's 5:09 in the morning here.
Oh
Wow.
man, bro.
Where are you listening from, William? I'd like to know. We'd all
I
like to know.
appreciate the effort, man. That's incredible.
Well, yeah, guys, we appreciate all of you. Quickly, we'll talk. I guess we could talk about go right into the Carolina Panthers Giants recap. Don't have a topic intro for that one, but we can get right into it. We can put
Shout
the
out to Lestat and Alex in the chat.
Lestat
What's
in the
up, guys?
building. Fun fact, guys, Lestat made my channel logo, so appreciate that. But let's start off, and we talked about this earlier. I got this thing ahead, like way ahead of me. So Julian Love is in my head right now. But let's talk
Wait,
about.
did you have a transition for this or
No,
no?
I didn't have a transition for this
Okay,
one.
okay,
No.
okay.
I didn't have a transition. I didn't have time to make that one. I got three. I think I got three of them, 3 or 4. Three.
Bet.
Three. But yeah. So let's talk about the Giants versus the Panthers. Give me your thoughts, man.
Well, it wasn't ended in the same fashion as game one, where it's like we're hoping for a field goal miss. So that's why you didn't see me or KB really start screaming at the end of the game in the win. Both of us kind of just had more of a sigh of relief towards the end of the game. Shout out to Authentic White Lotus in here as well. Mike Nixon, what's up? How you doing? So, like, this game was just very, very tense for me, and y'all saw that live. I was more worried than anything throughout it, and I feel like that's very fair. I feel like it's very, because there's dudes on Twitter that's like, oh, you should have faith all the time, 100% of the time. I'm like, no, this team still, we're 2-0, and I love it, and I'm focusing on the positive route, but there's still some things that need to be proven to me. But in terms of how we handle the Panthers, I want to say, first of all, the Panthers defense surprised me more than anything. Their run defense, especially. I don't think Matt Rule is gonna last in Carolina. Whether it's him or I don't know the name of their defensive coordinator, it's slipping my mind right now. Whoever made the adjustments in the run game did an incredible job, because they got gashed up by, I think it was Nick Chubb week 1. And granted, we do have at least the interior part of our line is worse than the interior part of Cleveland's, but still, like, Saquon for the entire first half. What's his name?
Phil Snow is the defensive
Phil
coordinator.
Snow. Saquon and really all of our running backs for the first half was just completely shut out. And we got most of our running game in the second half. Remember now, we had negative yardage in terms of rushing at halftime. And that's why I was like extremely worried too, man. Negative yardage like, if you have negative yardage at halftime in any type of offensive stat, like, I don't think you're usually coming out with the win. There's got to be some type of stat on that, deep analytics on that. But we got things going in the second half, specifically the run game, short passing game, which really seems to be what a lot of teams are doing, got a little bit more productive. And it was just a grind out win. Like I said, though, the defense surprised me a lot from Carolina. I didn't think it was going to be an easy pushover game, but at the same time, I didn't think it would be that hard.
I completely agree with you. 19-16 just tells you, damn, like it was a tough match, especially defensively. With that's a lot of field goals being scored there. You see a score with 19, that's a lot of field goals. I'll be honest with you. I was exactly what you said, surprised by the Panthers defense and what they're doing over there. I saw the name Frankie Louvu and I said, who is this guy? I'm like, what the hell is this guy? Who is he? And I turned on the film. You guys know I do the know your opponent. I do like the film review of our next opponent. And I, watched the film live, and turning on the Panthers defense, I was so surprised with how good Louvu and Shaq Thompson are. They are really, really freaking good, especially fitting in those gaps, stopping the run, knowing how to. They blitz those guys probably more often than they're in coverage. I mean, honestly, they shoot those gaps so well. The defense plays great. They play cover one defense, so they're just like on each guy's like on an island. So like everybody else is blitzing or trying to get to the ball carrier, like the running back. But the defense played phenomenally on the Panther side of the ball, and we saw a lot from the Giants too. The Giants defensively showed a lot that we have not seen even in last week's game, where last week they were lining up base 3-4 and just, hey, stop the run most of the time because we were facing Derrick Henry. They get very, very cute, very advanced in their defense. They start throwing up big, like super big dime sets, like quarters defense, but with 4 safeties on there. And
I don't know if I would call it cute, but I'd say I like the creativity.
Creativity, yeah, but we call it cute when it's bad. We call it cute when it's bad.
I was gonna say though, I was surprised. We were already both surprised with how well the secondary performed in week 1. They did it again in week 2, and I was even more surprised because you guys know I'm probably the biggest Cordell Flott fan out there. Hashtag Fear to Flott is alive and well because he did pretty good for his debut.
He was all right. Watching him, he had just 2 bad plays in my opinion, and both of them wound up looking really bad on him. But he was out there a majority of the game, and you really didn't hear of him. He wasn't really giving up any receptions, and he was on DJ Moore the whole game. He was on DJ Moore, and Adoree was on Robbie Anderson, and which is weird to me, but I guess it's the speed thing. But you had Cordell Flott give up like some sluggo route, and DJ Moore made an amazing adjustment to catch that ball back shoulder. I mean, honestly, I think most of corners would probably give up that play. I think Cordell Flott played close to him, and it was just a really good play by DJ Moore. And then obviously the touchdown, that C route, the touchdown that Cordell Flott gave up to DJ Moore. I mean, he just burnt them at that point. But he played all right. He played all right. I'm definitely optimistic for the future. But we'll get into everything else. We got some more topics to talk to you guys about. So I'm very new at this, so I'm gonna try my best to do this the best way I can.
You're good.
All right, but so let's go.
Play fake. Jones back to throw. Jones is going to run it. Jones up the middle. He's got the first down to midfield and slides to safety at the Panthers' 48-yard line. First down, Giants. 1:38 to go. It's a gain of 11, and Carolina with just 1 timeout remaining.
All right, so first topic I want to talk about right now, immediately after this this Panthers game, is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones definitely did not look as good as he did last week, and you could argue good being a term there, but he was serviceable last week. This week, he did some nice things, but a lot of things concerned me, especially watching more on film. A lot of things concerned me. He missed a lot, but if the running game is working, then there's the argument of, does DJ need to be that good? I mean, we posed the question, is DJ's play sustainable all season? We're 2-0. We are 2-0 right now, and DJ is not great right now. We're 2-0. What are your thoughts here, Kush?
Well, the first thing I'd say is it's always a push and pull type thing with Daniel Jones. To give him some credit, even though you could argue that he didn't play as well as week 1, same time, he had 0 turnovers this week. And I think he had 2 turnovers week 1. So it was way better with protecting the ball, whether it was, fumbling or interceptions and whatnot. But in 2-0, I'm torn. I guess I'll begin with I'm torn. I'm very half and half right now because half of me really wants to just celebrate the fact that we're 2-0, and I'm like, if we're winning games, why change something? Just march forward with the formula that we got right now and see how far we could take this thing. But the other half of me also realizes that there's big improvements to be made on this team, and I'm sure we'll cover the other improvements that needs to be talked about as well. But your quarterback is the biggest part of your team and has the most influence on the team on how, the team is going to perform. And he certainly has tons of room for improvement. So it's like, I don't necessarily think his play is sustainable all season, in the sense that if we're going to continue going in games to rely on our defense to perform at this elite level every single game, hold teams to 20 points or less, and then have really mediocre quarterback play without explosive plays from the offense, like, we're not really scoring. Well, it's 2 weeks, so that's why I feel weird saying this as well. We have a small sample size, but in that small sample size, we only had like 2 explosive plays, being the Sterling Shepard touchdown week 1 and the Saquon big run week 1. It's like, you're going to need more of that with mediocre quarterback play if you're going to hope to win, because that's what we had in 2016 with Eli. When we had Eli, wasn't necessarily mediocre, but he wasn't necessarily great either in 2016, but we had Odell that provided us where we know he could give us an explosive play that's going to lead to a touchdown every single game. Right now, we don't have the same thing there, and so your defense has a lot more pressure on them. So in terms of that, no, I don't think you could rely on that for the entirety of a 17-game season.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Like, I know, because you see, I mean, it's never going to stop, right? The Twitter arguments with Daniel Jones, it's just never going to stop.
It's not until the guy's off the team, which is unfortunate, because he's a really good guy. And at the end of the day, I feel like every Giants fan should be rooting for his success, even if they think he's not going to be here, and that's what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be here next year. You guys know that. That's not a secret. It's very well expressed on the channel, on this podcast, everywhere. But at the same time, I want the best for him. And if he turns out to be the guy here next year, I'm going to continue rooting for him because he's my quarterback.
Exactly. I completely agree with you there. I'll be honest, though. I'm very, concerned already. Like, I know it's a 2-game sample size, and you make a good point there. But watching him constantly miss out on receivers going deep downfield, and it's happening more and more as the weeks go on. He's missing a lot of guys. The pocket presence isn't there. He's creating sacks. Quarterbacks are not supposed to be doing that, He's running into these sacks where he could have evaded pressure. It's concerning. And on top of that, I know the run game has been all right really good in week 1. It's been okay in week 2, especially it got better towards the end of the game where we didn't really need to use DJ in the air. But it is a little bit concerning how we are the 31st ranked offense. I think passing offense in the league right now. And that's obviously, that's no surprise with the amount of yardage that Daniel Jones
I'm fine with being
for.
the 31st ranked passing offense if our running offense continues to improve and we're a top half ranked running offense. And if with that we up the scoring a little bit. Shout out to Mr. Mini Guy. What's up, Emily Wan and Nate in the chat. How y'all doing?
And then that brings up, is the running game going to be sustainable all season? And should we just focus on the running game and just leave DJ the way he is? I don't know, man. I feel like eventually later on in the season, teams are just going to stop Saquon, and then it's just downhill from there. DJ needs to step it up to me. You need to throw for more than 200 yards, man. I got to be consistent because I get on Tyrod Taylor when he was with other teams, and everybody, when Tyrod Taylor was with the Bills, everybody was like, oh my gosh, he's taking this team to another level. Dude, he threw for 200 yards. Relax. He didn't throw an interception, but he threw for 200 yards.
The thing is I think I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like you're expressing it in the wrong terms. I don't think it's yardage. It's how important the yards that he got were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
more than the actual yardage amount.
Well, yeah, I definitely. The yardage amount definitely you can look at, but as far as what you just said, I could agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, there's just so much yards that he could have had. He threw for 176 this game. I believe it was 176, if I'm not mistaken. That's less than 188 last week. And he could have probably had 250 yards, at least, and 250 would have been okay. And those 200,
I'm gonna once again step in if that's all right.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna once again say, I feel like the problem isn't actually the yardage. The problem is what you're gonna say, and I hope you bring up because you said you did a lot of film on it, was decision making.
Mm-hmm.
how fast he is or how slow he is with his decision making and missing wide receivers. That's the actual problem, not the yardage.
Right. I'm not gonna sit back and be like, well, he didn't throw for 300 yards. Like that's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm saying the amount of plays and yards that he left on the field and just missed. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at there. But Sterling Shepard again had a really deep play that I saw that, like, similar to what we saw last week. It was a slow-go route this time, and DJ missed him. Like, he threw to him, but he missed him. It was way off target, and you could see Sterling was frustrated because that was touchdown, man. That was touchdown. We were still in our own territory. That was definitely a touchdown. There were plenty of opportunities. Sterling Shepard, this is kind of on the offensive line, but early on in the game, Sterling Shepard was running a crossing route, and Daniel Jones was forced to dump it to Tanner Hudson because the offensive line was in his face. But I mean, at that point, you got to try to maneuver. There was space in that pocket to maneuver around and try to get that ball to Sterling Shepard deep downfield. That would have been another big, I want to say, like a 25-yard play. And then obviously everybody, I mean, the thing that went viral, I think if Authentic is still in here, he kind of pointed to that and kind of circled it. I don't know if it was him or he took that picture, but Kadarius Toney on another crossing route. Kadarius Toney going to the right side of the field was butt naked open. Daniel Jones, bro, it was that open. It was butt naked open, bro. It was just like that open. He was staring down.
Why are you thinking about that, bro?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking.
Why you think about Kadarius Toney in that sense, yo?
but David Sills was running a damn go route, and he was covered, like skin tight covered, bro. And Daniel Jones just staring him down, and it looked like he was waiting for him to cut, but staring him down, and then he takes a sack. He completely didn't even see Kadarius Toney. And that clip went like viral on Twitter as everybody's, knocking on Daniel Jones for, and rightfully so. But yeah, there was just a lot of yards left on the field that day, man. That I feel like he could have had more of that. And there were also a lot of plays that the play right before Daniel Bellinger's touchdown, which was an amazing concept, by the way, amazing route play design. You remember back in the Eli days, and Tudo, I'm going to get to your super chat right now. But you remember back in the Eli days how well he would throw to like tight ends in the red zone, like on the seam route, just the tight end, just go straight down to the end zone. Like, and I'm high pointing the ball to you, just catch it. Like Eli would do that so many times. Like that's how he made Larry Donnell like a serviceable tight end. Like those constant plays to him in the red zone, up the seam. He had that with Daniel Bellinger. He beat the safety and went right into the end zone and just did not pull the trigger, did not want to give Bellinger the high point, and just he rolled out the pocket and threw an incomplete pass to Sterling Shepard. He was basically throwing the ball away. And those type of things kind of really frustrates me because everybody wants to say how good DJ is, at quarterback. And I think he has the potential, but he just doesn't pull the trigger. He doesn't believe in his own self. Like you guys believe in him more than DJ does. And he doesn't believe in himself.
It's definitely that. And it's also like on stream, you've heard me say, I feel like he just needs to throw the ball. He just needs to get rid of it sometimes. It's just like, yo, just throw the ball. Don't overthink it. Yeah. Just throw it to your receiver on the field. Because another stat that kind of went viral along with that photo of Kadarius being wide open. And like you said, there was, as you go through the film, there was a lot of other receivers throughout the day that were kind of wide open that he missed. Another stat that went was that in week 2, Daniel Jones was top 5 in terms of pocket time to throw in the NFL. We don't have the best offensive line. That, of course, is true. But if you're up like 2.9 or above seconds, you have time to throw. Whether or not, he's making some of that time extra with his feet, you know what I'm saying? You sometimes just got to get set and sling the rock. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like he's overthinking sometimes on the field. And
I definitely think that.
There's not too many excuses I can make for you if you do have time to throw. And like I said, sometimes you're going to be pressured, sure. But we're talking about throughout the course of an entire game, just throw it sometimes.
Yeah, and we'll continue that. I got another stat, I guess, to talk about there. But Tudo, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, massive salute to Gio and Kush Nation and for all diehard Giants in America. Slap all stinky Boyds, loses all day, and smash them cowards. next Monday. I hope so. Hopefully we can do that. We'll talk about that at the end of the show, guys. We'll be previewing the Cowboys versus Giants game at home. So that's gonna be a fun one. But there was you mentioned the stat that he has like a lot of time to throw. I think he ranked like third in time to throw, right? Was it third?
I can't remember the exact number, but I know it was top 5 for QBs this past week specifically.
And then, but here's another thing that is weird to me. By PFF, I think PFF came up with that stat too. PFF also said that he's also the most pressured quarterback in the league on a percentage basis. I think it was like 43%, somewhere around that number. Right? Yeah, DJ was like 43% of his dropbacks were pressured. And I'm like, and I thought about that stat that you just said because I saw it like earlier on in the week, and I was like, what, really? I'm like, how does that? I don't understand that. I don't know whose fault that is. That O-line? Is that him? I don't know because they kind of contradict each other. How he has a lot of time to throw, but yeah, he's the most pressured quarterback. Like that's over Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's been getting killed lately.
And that's what I was saying earlier. I feel like a good amount of the time does come from him making some time with his legs, and I feel like maybe that's what's factored in. And you know what? Like I said, I feel like that can be used to say, well, this is why he's not making those throws. He's pressured too much. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I'm looking at it over the entirety of the game. I'm like, not once when you're rolling out, you could have made that throw to that one guy, whoever it is that's open. But he is most pressured. Like I said, it's no secret that the interior of our line is not good. But it just comes back to like, we're winning. I'm not necessarily going to change the formula until something bad happens. But at the same time, there's room for improvement. And with all that being said, wrapped up in a tight bow, this is part of the Daniel Jones conundrum that we're still discussing things like this in his 4th year because there are quarterbacks that can make those throws on the run. There are quarterbacks that can, not all the time, but maybe sometimes during the game, overcome that pressure.
Yeah, I agree. And, I find it frustrating, but it's like we have to talk about it. Daniel Jones is a big topic of each show every week. He's probably going to be for the rest of the time that he is a New York Giant. So anybody that's tired of this talk, we are too, but we have to. It's like we have to talk about it sometimes, especially with his play. But, hopefully against the Cowboys, he usually plays well against the Cowboys. Like he usually plays well. I mean, he doesn't like, he's not a world beat. I don't think has he beat them before?
Well, he almost did. If he didn't get that neck injury last year, he was like. I feel like we really were going to beat that Cowboys team.
The KT game, right? That was the Tony game, right? So yeah, he could have beat him. I don't know if he ever did, but he does play them okay. So like if there was any chance for us to get like 30 points last year, it was like offensively that would have been the game. So let's get into the
there next. It is. Wolf said he never beat Dak. I got to check on that. He beat Dallas in 2020, but he never beat Dak. We definitely got to check on that.
Dallas in 2020.
That would be such an interesting stat because Dak has been in and out for the past 3 years.
But who would beat the backup quarterback? Who did we face against?
It wasn't Andy Dalton the backup in 2020?
Yeah, but he finished that game. Dak started the game. Man, that was the game. Was that also the game we lost? Oh, we won. Did we win? No, Andy Dalton won that game. I was so pissed off about that one. Yeah, Dak.
Didn't we split with the Cowboys in 2020?
Damn, I can't remember.
We didn't get swept by the Cowboys in 2020. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Week 17.
Week 17.
He beat Andy Dalton.
That's what I'm saying. Andy Dalton. You take that S out. That's specifically the KB, bro.
I couldn't remember. I was thinking about their home game. I was thinking about when Dak broke his foot. Well, I don't even know if his foot. He broke everything on his leg, and Andy Dalton came in and finished that game out. And I was so pissed off that we couldn't finish that game. But yeah. You're right, Wolves. You're right. So that'll be interesting. I mean, hopefully he can get his first. But
he's also. This is so weird. Adding on to that stat, he's beaten the Cowboys once, hasn't had the chance or hasn't beaten Dak at all in his career. In addition to that, he's 0-7 on Monday Night Football, I think.
Yeah, I know.
And the Giants in general, hopefully we're gonna break the curse this year, but we don't win in our white collar rush uniforms.
We haven't won yet,
it's like a triple bad luck scenario, bro. Triple bad luck scenario.
I remember me talking about this before, but did we win last year with our color rush or no?
Who did we play in our color rush?
Can't remember. Somebody look that up. I could have sworn we broke it. I could have sworn we broke the curse. Yeah, we did. Wolves is a historian, bro, because I can't remember these things half the time.
Against the Eagles. But yeah,
the Eagles, okay.
for the most part, it holds true. We don't necessarily
We
win
don't
in our
win.
color rush. So
Right.
winning once, bro.
And I'm pretty sure we
Listen.
wear our color rush once or either once or twice this year.
I
Can't
think it's
remember.
once because we're gonna wear
Once and then
the throwbacks
the
twice.
throwbacks twice. Okay. All right, so we'll talk about the Cowboys later, guys. Right now, let's get to our next topic.
Giants by 3. Mayfield back to throw. Pressure. Mayfield sacked. Giants sent an all-out blitz. They came storming through, and Julian Love gets the sack for the Giants. All the way back to the 36.
Did you hear that little mumbling in the beginning, or was that me?
Mumbling?
Okay, maybe that was my computer. I was like, wait a minute, do I have something on?
No, I didn't hear no mumbling. Unless I don't know.
We good. We good.
I don't know, but we got to talk about this defense, man. We have to give a whole segment to this defense, bro.
I just gotta say,
go ahead.
KB is not slick with the wording that he has right here, bro. But go ahead, bro.
You're
not slick, yo. You're not slick. You think you are, but you're not. Continue.
I tried to put defense and the text was too small, and I said, no, I can't. I gotta
now it's too. It looks perfectly average to me. In fact, some might consider that a little bit bigger.
Oh god. I couldn't put the whole word. I couldn't put defense in there. I gotta shorten it down to D.
This
but
guy, yo.
Bro, we gotta talk about this defense, man, because let me tell you, man. This defense in the past 2 games is everything that we wanted in Patrick Graham's defense the whole time. We always made excuses for Patrick Graham, saying he doesn't have the right personnel. He doesn't have the right guys yet to really do his man defense scheme. We're running this soft zone coverage all the time. Like I said, we had a theory. Part of it, most of it, I think, is Joe Judge's fault, being conservative as he is. But looking at Wink's defense is everything that we expected Patrick Graham's defense to be. Pressure coming from all sides is everything we heard from Patrick Graham's defense. Oh, you never know where the pressure is coming from. Blitzes, he's going to be blitzing heavy. He's going to be playing man defense, single high safety, things like that. That's not what we saw with Patrick Graham. Instead, that's what we saw with Wink's defense. And Wink's defense, like I said, I got masters in disguise, but I had to put a little sort of like a Transformers theme to it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of robots in disguise. But but they were so tricky to work with. Looking at film, you would never know honestly where the pressure's coming from. Like, you would look at their line and you're saying, damn, that looks like an all-out blitz. Like we saw in the clip that I just that for the topic intro, Bob Papa saying it was an all-out blitz. He was wrong. It looked like an all-out blitz. They actually went
they
back
only rushed 4.
They only rushed 4, and they showed like 7 on the line.
I was about to say, for most of the game. Mm-hmm. For most of the game, he did like these fake blitzes where it looks like they're gonna engage 8 or they're gonna rush 7, and like more than half of the time, I want to say more than like 60% of the time, it's just 4 guys rushing. And what it is that it's mind games, and it works.
Exactly. And the guys dropping back and the guys rushing are guys you wouldn't expect to be dropping back and rushing. So
we had linebackers dropping back and safeties rushing, and that's why Julian Love came up with that crucial sack at the end of the game.
Like the Julian Love play was they had Jihad Ward lined up at nose
tackle,
at nose tackle, and that shows like, hey, they're going like NASCAR, right? They're going all rushers on the line, and they're just gonna all out blitz us. No, what happens is Jihad Ward drops back, and then you got like nobody rushing in the middle, and you get an overloaded rush. It's not even a blitz because it's still a 4-man rush. It's just like an overloaded, an odd front, an odd rush, and you get like Darnay Holmes coming just as a free rusher. So something that Bobby Skinner said, and that I think made a lot of sense, is the Giants are finding a way of creating pressure without sacrificing coverage. And that to me was perfectly well said.
And the hard thing is that it's not like this is necessarily a completely new idea, which is that fake blitzing or sending linebackers in coverage and having the safeties blitz. True. What up, Ash? How you doing? It's not necessarily a novel idea, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Yeah, it's so difficult to do because even the linebackers we're sending in coverage shouldn't be able to cover. Like, O'Shane Zimenez is not a coverage linebacker.
And that's the thing. They don't.
But it
need
works,
to be
and it's.
I
was gonna say it works because of whatever I guess Wink coached them up with. But they do have help from the remaining secondary guys that are still there.
And something and Wink is, and no, you didn't miss it. I actually didn't put Golladay in one of the topics yet because that kind of thing kind of came out of nowhere, and I already had these already done. But we will talk about Golladay, and the stuff that's going on with him. But Wink is very risky, man. First of all, everyone knows these edge rusher linebackers, they're not supposed to be covering. Like O'Shane did fine, honestly, in coverage, but you probably shouldn't consistently throw him out there all the time. Same thing with Jihad Ward, right? And constantly you saw these guys dropping back. We've seen that even last game when they were playing a little bit more traditionally because they were Derrick Henry there. We had to focus on. But in this game, you saw a lot of these linebackers dropping back, and a lot of guys were open. Like a lot of guys were getting open, but the thing is we're creating pressure. And there was this one play in particular where Baker Mayfield, I don't know who was in coverage, whether it be O'Shane or Jihad, had a guy wide open, one of the receivers wide open, and Darnay Holmes came from a nickel blitz on the other side. And right before Baker Mayfield was going to pull the trigger, Darnay Holmes gets a QB hit on him and just freaking wallops him, bro, sends him to the ground. And that forces a sack. It was a incomplete pass. He got the ball out, but it was inaccurately thrown. But that type of stuff is what I want to see in my defense. You don't have to be the best cover guy, just force pressure. And the fact, when have we ever seen our defense get pressure consistently with 4 rushers? Doesn't matter who those rushers are. Like the fact that we're getting more pressure with two down linemen and like a safety and a linebacker getting more pressure than 4 down linemen in like a Patrick Graham defense is insane to me. Okay, that tells you you're doing a hell of a job in disguising your coverages, disguising where your pressure is coming from. And Wink,
not just disguising, but and shout out to Bobby Skinner because he put out a little small clip of breaking down that particular Julian Love sack where it's like, and then I think I saw several others, and I'm pretty sure for some of the plays it's up to the guys up front who's gonna blitz, and they gotta communicate that with each other. Like sometimes the linebackers would blitz and they would let the safeties drop back as they should, and then other times the safeties would do that. I think it's exactly that. I think it's as they see it, and it's just like, do you realize how smart you have to be as a football player to do that? Not only that, but you have to be extremely quick with your wits and extremely quick in communicating it too, because obviously the closer and closer you get to the quarterback snapping the ball, I guess the more accurate you'd be with diagnosing who should go and who should stay, and they've done a pretty good job of that so far. And once again, it's just like, credit to coaching because we haven't seen this from our players before, but credit to our players because I don't think we've seen them use this type of intellect before on the field.
It's honestly, like I said, looking at it, even on broadcast, like you don't need to look at film to be looking at it. You could see the line, you could see the front 7 when you're watching the game. Just look at how well they were communicating with each other, how well they're in sync. Like you don't see guys confused. Like the guys who are dropping back and rushing aren't like, oh damn, am I dropping back or am I rushing? They don't look like they're caught up in a play. They look all like in sync, and that's I'm loving it. We got to get to another like I guess facet of their game, and that's the next topic we're gonna talk about. Let's roll it.
Robbie Anderson caught it in the left flat. Giants were there, rallied to the ball. Darnay Holmes came in and stripped him. Yeah, Darnay Holmes stripped him of the football, and Adoree Jackson recovered it.
So not only are we seeing a defense that is getting pressure, having good coverage, they're also a defense that's creating turnovers. So in only 2 weeks, the Giants have seen 5 fumbles. 2 of them were player force, like the players that had the ball themselves actually fumbled the ball without us interfering. But we had 3 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries. We are getting to the ball carriers. We're ripping the ball. You guys saw that Darnay Holmes just strip fumble on that wide receiver screen of Robbie Anderson. Like these guys are hungry. They're getting to the ball carrier and they're stripping the ball away. We haven't seen a defense like this create turnovers in a while. Every year, every single year. Like I'm even going back to probably 2016 too. Even that defense that was very good. we had trouble creating turnovers early in the season. We had trouble setting the tone. We weren't able. This defense still doesn't have an interception yet, but we have fumbles. We're able to create turnovers and try to get the ball back for our offense. This is something that the Giants defense in years past have not been able to do early on in the season. And you can see it because a part of creating a turnover, not interceptions, like forced fumbles, is like having like the heart and like dedication. Like, I'm going to go get this ball for my guys. Like, it's hard to do. You got to actually like know where to hit these guys. You see, like I said, Darnay Holmes is just inspirational, bro. The way he got that ball out, he said, I'm going to get this ball. I don't care. And he got it out before the whistle was blown for a dead ball. But yeah, man, this defense, I had to dedicate 2 topics to it, man, because the fact that we're not only creating pressure, but we're forcing turnovers is huge, and it could take us throughout the season, take us to the end, man.
Before I kind of speak on the defense, there was a couple paragraph type comments that I want to get, and you know how I am. I hate to let those comments just disappear. First one was from Tommy about 10 minutes ago. He says, Neal will get help on Parsons and Thomas will seal the edge. Our defense will hold the Cowgirls to 10 points. It'll be a statement made. We're definitely going to talk about it, but that 10 points is very specific. Kind of reminds me of that 2016 game against the Cowboys where we held them to 10. I think the final score was like 13-10 or something like low around that. Anthony then says, out of all the players that played for this team, I never hated anyone as much as Golladay. This man needs to go. He hasn't done nothing for this team. He's a prime suspect on players that just want the bag instead of Nate Solder, Eric Flowers, Like, Eric come on, Flowers, man. You can't Eli say you hate him the most, bro.
Eli Apple. Come on, guys.
Oh man. Tell me then he had another paragraph comment where he's like, we could continue to grow together. Play by play is the only way for us to build this the right way. That rhyme, bro. To allow our talent to get more reps under the belt together. Being productive, unlike KG. Yo, it comes back to Kenny Golladay.
Nobody can say anything about saying KG at the end.
That's kind of funny to me, but you guys make good points with the developing together. I don't know if I'd say I hate KG the most. There's been a couple dudes out here, and then with the Neal and Parsons comment, and like I said, we'll get to that obviously, but yeah. There's that as well. Shout out to Cresley in here too, Arch Genus. And we're gonna get to that, Arginus. Don't you? Yes. Don't you? We're gonna get to that. Now, in terms of the heavy hitters on defense, did we get forced fumbles? I can't remember. I don't know why, because it's only been a couple weeks. Did we get forced fumbles against the Titans?
Yeah, we had 2. I think Dexter.
I know we had a fumble recovery on special teams. But what about on defense?
Dexter forced it. I believe
Dexter forced it. Okay, yeah. I mean, this defense, and it's weird because it's like, we get turnovers, but you don't notice them. Like, we noticed the
because
2
we're not scoring off of them.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna lead to. I'm like, you noticed the 2 at the beginning of the game, obviously, but the fact that I forgot that we had 2 turnovers against the Titans surprises me. And all that's telling me is that the reason it's not sticking in my mind is because we're not capitalizing on it. And I don't want to rehash because we already spoke about how we think that not capitalizing on turnovers like that is not something you could continue to do and hope to win games. You're going to have to do something to get in the red zone and get 7 or 6 points, I should say, 7 with the extra point. But in terms of heavy hitters, this is kind of amazing. It goes back to the similar thing I was saying last time in terms of just intellect and how smart our players actually are, but we never saw that necessarily on the field in the way that Wink Martindale is using them with the creativity of his defense and just what it requires. And just even to revisit that topic a little tiny bit, where a lot of it is looking at how to tackle his position on the edge, for example, and then that's when Julian Love and Jihad Ward, Julian Love and Julian Love and O'Shane Zimenez are going to communicate with each other, and that's how Julian's going to be like, all right, he looks like he's setting for you, I'm just going to go right up, get free, and that's a free sack and stuff like that. The same way I feel like it's with these heavy hitters. You're noticing whenever they're tackling now, and you see this around the NFL, to be honest, they're making it, every single team is making it a point to get the ball out the hands of the ball carrier as they're going down. You're seeing it a lot more this year, and I feel like maybe even last year than in years past. It's become a real focal point in the NFL because it's really a simple concept. You get turnovers, you give your offense a chance, they capitalize, you win the game.
Yeah, and if not, you go right back at it, try to get that damn ball back,
Exactly.
Yeah, and the reason why I really am happy about the forced fumble thing, and maybe I mean I don't have the numbers on this, but the Giants have always had problems with fumbles. Like they were never able to force them. Like it was very rare that we got like forced fumbles. Like oh my god, maybe we could force them, but we weren't able to recover them. It was like a player just dropped the ball, we weren't able to get it, and everybody's kicking the ball around. But the Giants actually being able to like get the ball out of these ball carriers' hands is huge because it makes up for a lot of, run after the catch sort of things, constantly. I was never, hoping. I never had a thought in my mind, oh, maybe we're going to get a fumble here. Like, no, every time I watched the Giants game, I knew we weren't going to force no damn fumbles. So we don't do that. They never did that in years past. We already have 3 of them. That's insane. So happy about that. Happy about that. I had to give a quick freaking. We have to donate a lot of time to this defense, man, because they are good. They are freaking good, and they don't have they are very similar to Carolina's defense. Like watching them, Carolina's defense, they run cover 1. They blitz their linebackers and safeties. Like we ran the Carolina defense. Like I don't know who came up with the idea first. I'm gonna say Wink because we love Wink, but I mean Wink put in that work, man. He was running cover 1 with us, with our players. Cordell Flott was running cover 1. Darnay Holmes.
I was gonna say, I want you because like you said, you got a chance to look at the all 22. Just give us some things you saw from the defense that probably regular fans and guys like myself that don't necessarily be breaking down all 22 like that might have missed.
Well, one thing I will say is that the coverage was a lot better. Like I was impressed with man coverage. That's something that we always made excuses. I said this earlier on the show. We always made excuses for Patrick Graham's defense. Be like, oh, like we don't have the right guys yet to play man defense and stuff like that. But I mean, we ran it here. We ran it here with a rookie and Adoree Jackson, and because he's small, he's a smaller outside corner. He still held his own. Adoree Jackson stays
and
locked
Adoree
down.
Jackson needs to get his respect too.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
Adoree Jackson
he's technically not a heavy hitter.
Down guys.
We should have mentioned that in the last segment. That's on us. Adoree Jackson, so far, once again, like everything, small sample size, 2 games. This man is having a really good year so far. Through 2 weeks, he's only allowed 2 catches. He's been targeted 6 times, which shows that quarterbacks, for him to be targeted only 6 times in 2 weeks, I don't know if they're necessarily scared of him, but they're avoiding him. And yeah, he's locking down whoever he's in, but he's only been targeted 6 times, and he's only allowed 2 catches. Granted, those 2 catches, they were pretty big when they average out. One was for 21 yards, one for 19 yards. So it comes out to 40 yards in 2 weeks, but I'll still take that. 2 catches through 2 weeks, allowing 40 yards through 2 weeks. That's a 33% completion percentage, allowing a passer rating of 57 point something. He's been really good for us, and that's continuing off of a really good year in 2021. And in addition to that, it's like if he could continue to do that, and we're seeing that we're still producing hits, quarterback hits, and we're producing turnovers other ways on the defense, that takes pressure off of him too. Because that's one of the things we were worried about, if we're going to be honest, going into the season, was can Adoree replicate what he did last year? But can he replicate it at the beginning of the season with what was going to be a weekend pass rush? And it turns out we actually don't have a weekend pass rush because of just how good Wink is with substituting it by creating other things.
Yeah, and this defense is only going to get better when we get Kayvon and Azeez back, and hopefully we get at least one of them back for this Monday game. We'll see what happens, but I gotta give flowers to the safety group. Some of the times, every single safety was out there. Like all the guys that were dressed were out there. Tony Jefferson, Dane Belton, Julian Love, Xavier McKinney.
Another rookie, by the way, Dane Belton, that had a
great
debut.
Game. Great, like not even just a good debut. This guy had a great game. Like Dane Belton was one of the guys I disliked the most when we drafted him because I did not like his film at all. But man, this guy fits a Wink defense, man. He was so instinctive. He was playing single high safety most of the game. Like this guy, this rookie this is his first game, and you're trusting this guy to be the single high safety in a cover 1 defense, and he actually did well. Like that impresses me a lot. And Xavier McKinney working well in the box, covering the running back and tight end, playing the robber in the cover 1 was doing fantastic. Like the safeties were the MVPs of that defense. Like the linebackers are not that very good, and we're using those safeties to kind of play as linebackers, so it kind of compensates for that. The only linebacker we really had on the field last game was Tate Crowder. Calitro and Micah McFadden had like like less than 15 snaps combined. So we used Tony Jefferson. We used Dane Belton. We used Julian Love. Julian Love is good, bro. Like Julian Love has arrived, bro. This guy is good. I can't stop talking about the safety group. For the defense, for the most part, were awesome. All the defensive backs were good, but the safeties really jumped out to me. Like they were doing all the work, bro. They were doing all the work. They were in coverage. They were rolling coverage. They were playing deep. They were playing the middle. They were playing the flat. They were stopping the run. They were blitzing. Like the safeties were doing everything. And hats off to them, man, because that shows the versatility and that shows how well they understand the defense because they were everywhere. They were lined up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But
great question right there by first name, last name. Also a great name. He says, what percent chance do you think Kayvon will play? And I'll probably include somebody else as well, Aziz.
Yeah, they're still limited. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know the exact update, like what if anybody gave a timetable, if anybody gave an update, if they're doing well or not. I just seen that they were working together on the side again. Like they weren't in like full practice. That's the only thing I saw. I don't know any other details, but the hope is that one of them plays this week. That's the hope. That's what I seen on Twitter. Don't know if that has any like implications to it at all, but that's just what I seen on Twitter. That's all. X-Man
would you put a percent on it? Would you put a percent on it? I was gonna say.
Oh man, I don't know. Some people are gonna be like, well, KB said no. I'd say I heard Aziz is still more hurt than Kayvon is. Like that one person I'm thinking is gonna play is probably Kayvon. And if I say Kayvon, I'd say I won't go over 50 because that means he has a better chance. I would say 45%. I'm gonna stay right on that line. I'm gonna stay right on the. I won't go over 50 because then that means I feel like he's gonna play, and I don't know yet, but I'll be as close as I can to it. 49.9. But our Genus says X-Man was covering CMC the whole game. Yeah, he was, and he was doing very good. There were sometimes he was on CMC, sometimes he was on a tight end.
I was gonna say, yeah. Diggy came in, and he let me know last night because he also looked at the film. He was like, X-Men was only on CMC for a couple of plays. If you look at it, there was a lot of other people covering Christian McCaffrey throughout the game.
It all mattered about what defense they were coming in, who was blitzing, the coverage they were coming out in. Because like I said, and this alludes to what I just said, the safeties were doing everything. They were everywhere. They were in the flats, they were in the middle zones, they were deep, they were blitzing, stopping the run, things like that, fitting the gaps. They were doing everything. And McKinney, for one, was playing cover like that middle zone in the cover one, that guy that's playing the middle, that's kind of like he's the only guy playing zone besides the deep safety in the cover one. He was doing a good job with that. He was covering CMC sometimes. He was covering the tight ends. And they're using him a lot more in the box, more of a strong safety than a free safety, which he was a strong safety in Alabama. We converted him to a free. He actually did pretty damn well at it, but it seems like they're kind of bringing him back to a strong safety type role. But
I was gonna say highlight that Ash comment real quick because I wanted to say something that just popped in my mind, right? Even if this is true, I hope Giants fans do one thing, and that is don't switch up. Because every single Giants fans, they love the way this defense is performing right now. When Tibbs and Aziz come back, I think, it's just like, it's like simple math, simple logic. They're way better or not way better. They are better, hopefully being way better by the end of the year, edge rushers than what we're currently putting out on the field. So hopefully that means way more quarterback pressure, is just a more ferocious defense and front seven, and rushing to the passer, getting to the passer is easier. What I will say, though, as a little caveat, and shout out to Engraven, when I had him on my channel a couple months ago back when we first hired Wink, he said one thing that's stuck in my mind since, and that is that pass rushers in Wink Martindale's system, they don't get the numbers because of the fact that he gets to the quarterback in other ways rather than just relying on two guys on the edge. So what I mean by don't switch up is that if we come back and the defense stays the same and is still producing, and like I said, everybody loves it like it is right now, that may mean you're not going to see those superstar-like numbers from our two guys that Giants fans may want to see. Right. And if that's the case, please just don't go start hating on Wink if it's working and it's what has been producing. Because there are Ravens fans who did that, and that is primarily the reason why I think it's Zadarius that was with the Ravens. He left initially because he felt he should have been used more, even though the defense was just, they were doing great the way he was being used at that time.
Yeah, everybody's gonna play a role, and a lot of people. I mean, a lot of players aren't gonna play like just one role, right? A lot of people are gonna play a role and probably multiple roles. You may see Aziz and Kayvon being like, setting the edge while the nickel blitz goes inside and becomes a free rusher and tries to get to the quarterback. You may see that. You may see a lot of stuff that won't show up on the stat sheet. But that being said, let's talk about our guy, right? Let's talk about probably the most popular player on this channel,
Right
on this
now, yeah.
podcast, bro.
Also
No,
on Giants Twitter.
well, no, I'm gonna
I,
talk about AT
I feel
first, bro.
I feel like we need more
Yeah.
credit, bro. Cause I saw a Bengal tweeting like he's the Andrew Thomas guy, and Bobby Skinner was
Right?
chiming in. I'm like, yo,
Some BS, bro.
I've been on this man since before we drafted him.
Bro,
Yo, I don't think there was anybody else like that.
This podcast was founded by us, by our love for AT, bro. We've been talking about him forever.
This is
Just that we
crazy,
don't,
man.
it's a
But I'm glad
popularity
he's getting the
contest.
recognition he deserves, man.
Yeah, I do, man. I mean, he's on he's not on the Giants PFF account, right? That's constantly where I'm seeing him at, where I used to see him at the Giants PFF account, where he was just put in this little corner for Giants fans, like, hey, look, guys, here's your left tackle. But now he's on. First of all, he's one of the top 5 players graded in the NFL. Listen, I don't like PFF like that, but when they fit my narrative, I love them. Okay, so
Well, the thing is that it's not just PFF. Like across a lot of boards, he is currently.
He
the top
went up in
left
Madden.
tackle in the league.
I have not turned on
I
Madden.
don't care at this point. I don't care about Madden.
He went up in Madden.
Disrespectful.
That's a win for me, man. That's a win for me. I think he's at 82 right now. So that was a big jump. That's 6 points of overall. Like let's get him to a 90. Then we'll start talking. But yeah, AT is the highest graded, not only the offensive tackle, the highest graded offensive lineman in the NFL at an 89.1? 89.1?
I think it's hard. I think it was 0.6 or something.
Oh yeah, look it up. But that's insane. First of all, to get anywhere close to like a 90 with PFF is hard to do. Like you'll never see someone that's graded for like a 98 or something like that, because that's like perfect score. But that is so hard to do. And the fact that Andrew Thomas, bro, is the highest graded offensive lineman, not offensive tackle, offensive lineman in the NFL, and one of the top 5 graded players. That's every single player in the NFL. Top 5. He's a top 5 player in the NFL right now. Can you believe that? This man better
should be.
This man better get Pro Bowl. This man better get All Pro. This man better get the top 100 list because he was snubbed last year. So he's got to get all of that this year, man. All of that this year. Hopefully, cross our fingers, that nagging ankle injury he's been dealing with his whole career does not come back this year.
Why did you mention it, bro?
Listen, man. We have to bring it up. We gotta bring it up.
I need a new. I've been joking, but now I need a new co-host, bro. I don't know what this man is on.
Listen, man.
You gotta pretend it doesn't exist, bro. Come on,
man.
now.
I can't pretend it's in the back of my mind constantly, bro. It really is. Every time I see Andrew Thomas go back on a pass set, I'm like, no, please. No. But yeah, man. AT is that guy, bro. And we knew it from the beginning. We never wavered. We had Andrew Thomas drafted to the Giants. We drafted him, and we were like ecstatic. A lot of people were like, "Oh, we missed out on Jedrick Wills." You know the grade Jedrick Wills has right now?
Did you see what I tweeted,
50.
bro? I don't know if you saw what I tweeted. I tweeted, Andrew Thomas is all of a sudden now good, but people were telling me the walking injury, the right tackle, and the guy I haven't heard from since he was drafted was better, because I haven't heard of Jedrick Wills since he was drafted, yo.
Yeah. And then Becton, there's Becton, and he's out for the year. He can't stay healthy. And then Tristan Wirfs, who is graded okay. I think he's like a 75 grade. But I think Jedrick Wills is sitting at somewhere in the 50s, so he's not that good. And we made the right pick. Dave Gettleman made the right pick. Shout out to Dave Gettleman for that. Okay, because he got the guy I wanted. Andrew Thomas was the Georgia Bulldog I wanted. So, we had to give some love to AT there. But I mean, I don't have a topic thing for this. But we could talk about Kenny Golladay a little bit.
Yeah. Chat definitely want us to talk about it.
Yeah, they won't let us. They won't leave us alone with this. So we have to talk about it.
All right.
Kenny Golladay, man.
You could give context, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna give context. Basically, people, there were reporters that went out to Kenny Golladay today and interviewed him, and I kind of asked him what was going on. He was kind of pretty blunt about it. Like, he didn't really hide anything. He showed his frustration. He kind of vocalized that he was frustrated. He said he was confused why they're not playing him. So it's not disciplinary, and apparently they're not communicating with him about what's going on, about why he's not being played. So guys, it's not and they're also, he also said that Brian Daboll and the rest of the coaching staff says that he's good. His attitude is great. He's a fine kid and all this stuff, great player, la la la. So it's not his play either. It's not his play. So why is David Sills, the technician, getting more reps and taking Kenny Galladay's spot? I don't understand. He doesn't even know. He doesn't understand. And people can't be like, oh, he's lying. He wouldn't come out and flat out say, I'm confused. I don't know why they're not playing me. And then he also said, I should be out there. I want to be out there. Like,
I was going to say, when I saw that thing, here's the thing. When I saw that little clip, he didn't even look frustrated. Even then, I got to give credit to him. He's been handling this with a lot of professionalism. We haven't heard a peep out of him. Right. Even when he expressed that, it was like in a very professional manner, calm manner. And I'll be honest, I felt a little bad for the guy. I was like,
I did. He doesn't
I
know.
did feel a little bad for him
because
he is supposed to be a complete gamer. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be that guy. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he doesn't know. I don't know if I'll say that. But he genuinely wants to be on the field, is what it seems like. And if that is true, then I feel bad for him, because even we're wondering, like, yo, what is going on?
I've talked about his like attitude, like on the field attitude sometimes, and I don't blame him for it because they don't use him. But like I said, when I went to that Bucs game last year, and this is where I really opened my eyes to it, when I went to that Bucs game and he was being subbed out for Alex Bachman, like the guy was like clearly upset. Like he would go on the sideline just like moping, like why am I being taken out? Have his head down. And I know everybody's like, well, don't do that. You're supposed to be a team player. Dude, if I'm subbed out for Alex Bachman, I'd feel some type of way. Okay? I know he's the next Cooper Kupp and everything, but this is before that. This is before he had that preseason game. Okay, this is the Bucs game last year. Alex Bachman wasn't what did he do last year? Nothing. So Kenny Golladay being subbed out for guys like Alex Bachman, even Darius Slayton sometimes, and whoever else was on the bottom of the depth chart last year, it will get to you. It will get. You're being paid a lot of money. You were told you were going to be used. I guarantee you, nobody's going to sign if they're a gamer, like you said. If they're a guy that wants to put up the stats, wants to be on the field, they're not going to sit there in a meeting and say, "Hey, look, we'll pay you $72 million for you just not to be used." Like. He's not going to do that. He was told that he is going to be a priority target. Like he was going to be a guy targeted. If you're going to be paid $72 million over the course of 4 years. It was a 4-year contract. So he's making just over like $20 million a year, guys. Like that's come on. He was supposed to be used, and they're not using him. Even going back in last year with a different regime, they weren't using him. So I don't know what the deal is, man. He's confused. We're all confused. Daboll needs to address this in the right way. I don't think
he's going to, and that might annoy me a little bit, yo.
It does. And Daboll frustrates me with his press conferences because he flat out shuts down answers. Like he flat out shuts down questions. He doesn't address anything head on. Like Joe Judge would kind of give that rah-rah speech or whatever, But Daboll would just be like, he's all right. He's good. He's fine. He's fine. Like the Kadarius stuff. They were asking him legitimate questions. I don't like New York Giants media, but they were asking him legitimate questions in the last game, against the Titans. Why wasn't Kadarius Toney used? Where was he? He's fine. He's good. He's not hurt. No, he's not hurt. It's all about our play scheme. It's all about what the plays we want to run. He would answer him so quickly and shut down any other room to try to add on to the question. He would just shut it down. Same thing with Kenny Golladay. He also said that, we talked to Sill. We talked to Kenny and said, hey, we're going to use David Sills this week. And he never addressed why. He never said why. So that just frustrates me, man. It frustrates me. Daboll not addressing Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney for the most part too. They're both.
If it means anything, during practice today, I forgot if it was Art Stapleton or another beat reporter that tweeted out a picture of Kenny and Joe Shane talking, and basically the caption was they met They talked for a couple of minutes. They fist bumped, and then they talked some more before he went off to practice.
I like that. I like maybe. I mean, listen,
I don't know if I do because we don't know what the implications of that is.
because it looks like they were trying to sort of get.
It
some
could be them trying to work it out, but it could also
Yeah.
literally be him saying, "All right, bro, like just trade me to the Bears," and he's like, "Okay, fist bump."
Nah, because there's too much dead money. I mean, that wouldn't go down like that. They would definitely meet in the meeting room if they're gonna talk about trading. Because I mean, that ain't gonna happen with this freaking contract set up. Like he's not gonna be traded this year. But I think it was just a way of Joe Shane trying to meet him halfway and say, hey, look, this is what's going on.
It's not even Shane. Joe Shane isn't the person supposed to be doing that.
I know,
like
it's not.
It should be Brian Dable.
It should be Brian Dable. But you know, I hope they did kind of reconcile something, because I would like Kenny Golladay on this team. I think you know, the hype that he had going into being signed as a free agent wasn't, you know, fake, right? Right? We liked Kenny Golladay. Even guys that hate him, like with every fabric of their being right now, loved Kenny Golladay as a signing. I didn't see anybody on Twitter saying they didn't want Kenny Golladay. Like, stay away from it, right? The only thing I said about Kenny Golladay is that he has injury issues. That's why I would be very cautious about signing him. But if we did, I'm all for it. So when it comes to that, I mean, he could be a really good part of this game. He's not a route runner. Everybody keeps talking about his running. He doesn't run slants right. He's not a route runner. He is a guy to catch the ball. 50-50 balls, okay? Do not expect him to create
use
separation.
him like Mike Williams. Mike Williams is probably the best way to use a big body wide receiver in the league right now, and he's so successful with it.
Yes, the fade routes, the jump balls, the quick slants, you know, stuff that you need big body receivers to do, even back shoulders, you know, stuff like that. Kenny Golladay excels at, okay? And they just got to find a way to use him. Find a way to use him. I really hope it's not a DJ thing, because we know DJ just sometimes can't throw like those jump balls, man. He just doesn't throw them. He doesn't throw them. He's not good at throwing them. So I just hope that's not the reason, man, because then we have to wait till DJ's gone for us to unlock Kenny Golladay. But
that'll be some.
I know. So, I mean, are you guys happy? We adjust Kenny Golladay, okay? Thank you. But yeah,
Vets, that's hilarious, bro. I just read that comment. It's probably been there for a minute.
My daughter gonna be mad when I named her Thomas.
No, bro, mine too, bro. Mine too, honestly. And then the second one's gonna be so mad when her name is Kayvon Thibodeau, bro.
Kayvana.
Nah, just Kayvon straight up, bro. You think I'm saying Andrea? It's gonna be Andrew.
We're getting with the times, man. We're getting with the times. But yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But as we get ready to wrap this show up, we're gonna be talking about our last topic. Unless there's anything you want to talk about going into this last one.
Nothing particularly comes to mind. I'm even going through Twitter right now, and it's like I'm seeing just, you know, Kayvon Thibodeau interviews and stuff, which, by the way, I will say this. I love the players we have on our team, like Saquon, superstar athlete, superstar player, high-key face of the franchise. Since he was a rookie, handled himself so professionally. Like, it's incredible. Also, like, since he was a rookie, speaks like he's been a veteran in the league for so long. And now we got Kayvon, and it's the same thing. He speaks like he's been in the league for so long, and I like it a lot. But that's just a random thought that popped up for me. Yeah,
I can't wait till he actually plays and he's actually like able to, you know, talk about his play and his production and stuff like that. Because I know he's gonna have some breakout games and he's gonna be, you know, there in the podium. And
like they asked him to compare himself to Micah Parsons and and like he deflected in the professional way. He's like, I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to go out there and complete the defense's job and get to the quarterback.
Because
and
of course the media is trying to create
even though people
sort
are gonna compare you to Micah Parsons, he's like, yo, that's not me. Yeah, that's not my job.
And it's crazy because they're not really like the same player. I know like now they're both on the edge, but Micah started as a
middle linebacker.
Yeah, he started off as a middle linebacker, as off ball. So I'm like, I mean, they're not really the same. But let's just talk about our last topic for tonight, and that is the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys Monday Night Football. This is gonna be a good one. I mean, I love that it's against Cooper Rush, but damn, Cooper Rush played pretty damn well against the Bengals, and it worried me a bit. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I do not want to lose to a backup quarterback in primetime football. That is going to be humiliating, and that is going to ruin the
Bengals,
morale
let's
of
lie.
our
The
2-0
Bengals
start.
are going to be in one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers of all time. They
They
already are, bro.
having a
Okay.
crazy Super Bowl hangover, and even the Rams, like they almost choked to the chokers, man. So I mean, they're not showing up too well. Even both teams that were in the Super Bowl, but Cincinnati, think real quick. I know we're not playing Cincinnati, but real quick, Cincinnati dedicated so much money. I don't know the number, but so much
Bro, they
money
paid
to that
Lyle
offensive
Collins,
lineman.
and that man, I haven't been watching, but has he not been the same or something?
I
Like,
don't
what's
know,
happening
but
with that
dude,
line?
Lyle Collins, they paid a lot of money for Alex Kappa from the Buccaneers. They also traded for Shaq Mason from New England. I think they gave up a pretty good capital for it, and I believe they might have paid some other guys like depth guys. But they dedicated a lot to that offensive line, and it changed up dramatically. That's crazy that they allowed a league high 13 sacks so far in
Yeah,
2 games.
I was gonna say, aren't they on pace for some crazy like more than 100
111
sacks?
sacks.
Yeah, they're on pace
111.
for 111 sacks. That's
Bro,
crazy,
I
bro.
was like, bro, that's
There's
flabbergasting,
no way
bro.
that's happening because I'm pretty sure they got close to a record last year when Joe Burrow got sacked like 60
Yeah,
times.
I was just about to say that they were one of the worst offensive lines last year, and somehow they're worse. It's freaking hilarious. That's freaking. You have Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa, Shaq Mason, and Jonah Williams, who's still there at your left tackle. I don't know who's your left guard. But and they drafted a couple of guys too. They got Jackson Carman, and I didn't really like him, but they drafted him last year in the early second round, and I believe they got another offensive lineman in the draft this year. So could be wrong about that, but damn, that's a lot for the offensive line. I would have been pissed if they gave up 13 sacks already. Jesus, and Joe Burrow I mean, part of that.
You know what's
Joe
crazy?
Burrow
This is
has,
this is gonna sound crazy, but I think Zach Taylor could be on the hot seat soon, even though he just came off a Super Bowl. Because
yes,
during his Super Bowl year,
he was
there
on
was
the
a lot
hot
of people
seat.
criticizing.
He was
There was a lot of people criticizing his play calling and play design and stuff,
decision
even
making.
when they made the Super Bowl.
And their game and his game management was terrible. I mean, he choked a couple of games. He did, Cincinnati Bengals fashion, but he had a bad, couple of, and also he had a terrible start to his rookie year too. As a head coach, his first year as a head coach. But yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. Zach Taylor may be on the hot seat because a lot of teams have fluke seasons, dude. A lot of teams have fluke seasons, and like nobody expected the Bengals
I
to
don't
be where they're
necessarily
at.
think that was a fluke because like the way they beat teams in the playoffs was like they just overcame everything. But like I definitely think that I don't know. I don't think Zach Taylor's the guy that's gonna be there whenever they do reach the promised land.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like when you think of like the Cincinnati Bengals and you think about like if you think about a Super Bowl team in general, the head coach kind of comes to mind, right? Like, but you think about the Cincinnati Bengals, everybody's like, Zach Taylor, like that's their head coach. Like what? Like nobody really cares. Like you look at the Rams, like they won the Super Bowl. You look at freaking Sean McVay and his great mind. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, freaking Bruce Arians at the time. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, right? Then you look at the Bengals and like Zach Taylor. What? Nobody cares. But yeah, so completely agree with that. And that, I mean, we went off on a tangent there, but the Bengals just suck right now. Hopefully they get it together because I was actually like kind of like not like rooting for them, but like I want to see them succeed. I want to see them like stay continuously. Like I always like to see bad teams like get good again. You know what I mean? So the Bengals were bad for a while, and I wanted to see them get good. So the Dallas Cowboys, they beat the Bengals at home 20-17. The Cowboys did everything in their power to try to lose that game, and they didn't. I don't think Cooper Rush threw an interception. Did he? I don't think he threw an interception.
But Michael's just said it in chat. He's like, he should have had 5 picks.
Yeah, should have had 5 picks. Yeah, I heard that they were just giving that game away, and they were allowing Cincinnati to come back. So I wouldn't say, and Dallas shouldn't be that good. They're not good. They're not that good. Their offense is a shell of what it used to be. Their offensive line sucks now. It's not that good anymore. Tyron Smith is still out, so they're putting the other Smith out there. They're putting Tyler Smith. So they went from Tyron Smith to Tyler Smith, the guard they drafted out of Louis Tech. They drafted out of Louisiana Tech, something like that.
Remember.
I can't remember where he came from, or Tulsa. I think it was Tulsa. One of those red, white, and blue teams. They're putting him at left guard now. That he's a guard. I mean not left guard, left tackle. They're putting him on left tackle, bro. So let's see if we can get a good rush on him. Obviously the biggest person we have to worry about on that team is Micah Parsons, right? Micah Parsons, a lot of Giants fans wanted Micah Parsons. I loved Micah Parsons. I didn't think he was gonna be this good. That's kind of why I was okay with not drafting him. But now I kind of like, damn, I wish I had Micah Parsons. But
I'm fine because we got, like I said before, we got both Rashawn Slater and Michael Parsons on our team now in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
With Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Right. But
let me ask you. Let me ask you this: how do you see our offensive line holding up against the Dallas pass rush? Not just Michael Parsons. I'm not necessarily scared of anybody else, but there have been other guys getting to the quarterback. Dorrance Armstrong and
they have Dante Fowler, bro. I didn't notice it. I didn't know
they had Dante
Fowler. Me neither, but
I'm expecting them to match up Micah Parsons against Evan Neal, and that is going to be something to keep your eye on. They probably are going to need to have a tight end over there because Neal still has to find his way in the NFL. But the other guy, Dorrance Armstrong or whatever his name is, Andrew Thomas shutting that down, bro. And then it's the interior is where I'm going to be worried about as usual. So how do you see our O-line going up against that?
Is Dorrance Armstrong a D end or a D tackle?
He's been playing on the edge opposite of Micah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
And he had 2 sacks last game as well. Yeah, he's a D end.
Okay, so Dorrance Armstrong, and I know they have Dante Fowler in that mix. I don't know what his rotation is. I like Dante Fowler a lot. I wanted to bring him in last year. As far as Micah Parsons going in the offense, like I think he's gonna be the guy to worry about. I'm not, like you said, I'm not really worried about anybody else. They just look like regular old defensive line, right? You got a game plan for these guys, blah blah blah. But Micah Parsons is probably gonna demand some double teams. Probably going to demand some tight ends chipping him and stuff like that. You may see things open up on the interior for the interior guys to run through because they're going to be busy working against Micah Parsons, try to help out. So that may be a big problem, man. Maybe a huge problem. And Micah Parsons is like relentless, bro. Like this guy strong and fast as hell, bro, and slippery too. Nobody can grab this guy. I want to see what he will do against it. Like, right now, Micah Parsons and AT are literally the best at their position so far this year.
Yeah.
So they are literally the number one players at their positions right now, and they're gonna be having at it. Like,
well, they're not going to be going to head-to-head because, like I said,
I would expect them,
they're going to be putting him against Evan Neal. I'm expecting for most of the game.
Yeah, but I
would love to see him and AT in a phone booth though.
Oh, but I definitely think it's going to happen. Like they're definitely it's going to happen because remember a lot of these pass rushers line up. Like I think he's playing the will. I think he's playing like a will sort of D end role. I could be wrong about that. Maybe he's playing the strong. So it all matters about where the Giants line up as far as which side is their strong side, which side is their weak side. And maybe you're going to see them line up against each other. I don't think they're going to get completely, shy away. If they believe in Micah that much, they're going to say, hey, we'll put our best versus your best. Let's see what happens. And damn, is that going to be a clash of the Titans, bro? That is going to be so fun to watch. If you're not a Giants or Cowboys fan, you would want to watch Andrew Thomas versus Micah Parsons. That's going to be freaking sick, bro.
Like I told y'all, the main reason I'm going to this Detroit game, part of it is because, I did become a little fan of Detroit off Hard Knocks. But the main reason I was looking at it before even that was because I wanted to see Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau play in the same game. Because I feel like they were the two best edge rushers in the draft. And the fact that we're actually going to have them, we're going to see how they stack up against each other in the same game was a very exciting thing to me.
Aiden's already a great player.
And there's Penei Sewell and Andrew Thomas in there as well. And Aiden Hutchinson is off to an amazing start to his
3 sacks already.
Career, man. Exactly.
Should
have been the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and
listen, the number 1 overall pick.
I mean, listen, I hope Kayvon, outshines him, but Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden is exactly what we thought he was going to be, and that is the number 1 overall pick.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, Aiden's not that, not as flashy." Trayvon Walker. Oh my God, man, Trayvon Walker. No, Trayvon was the number 1 overall pick. It was Aiden's the second. Oh my God, that's so ridiculous.
Did you just have a brain fart or something?
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I was thinking Aiden was the number 1 overall pick. I forgot about Trayvon Walker. Like, that's why we haven't even heard of him. Devin Lloyd right now, the other first round pick who we loved on this channel. He's actually graded higher, much higher than Trayvon Walker. He's actually the better pick, looking like the better pick right now. But man, so back to it. what are your predictions for this game, man? And not just like score, like how do you think this thing's gonna play out? The Giants, by the way, guys, for anybody wondering, are a 2.5-point favorites at home. So, you guys know automatically the home team gets 3 points, and then depending on how good the away team is, they'll kind of take or add away from it. So they took away a half point, so it's -2.5. So the Giants still have the edge technically to Vegas. So how do you feel about that? And your predictions?
In terms of the thing with Vegas, I'm not surprised. Didn't they do the same thing with Carolina?
Yeah, they
Didn't
gave
do
us
the
2-point favorites, and then
thing?
right before
And then they
game
took it away?
day, they made us 1
I'm be
point
honest,
underdogs.
and I think I said this on last week's episode as well with Carolina. I'm gonna say the same thing here for the Cowboys. I'm just like, I prefer it. I prefer being the underdog. It's been the Giants mentality for like basically 20 years now, maybe more, but I would say 20 years. Even on when the NFL has their pick'em thingies, and it shows the broadcasters and the people that work for the NFL pick. Somehow, some way, the Cowboys got 2 more votes, I want to say, than the Giants, and we're at home. And I was just like, okay, I'll take that. I prefer that 100%. I will always like for the Giants to be the underdog. So that's my response to that. In terms of how I think the game is going to turn out, I think it's going to be very much what we saw in Carolina. I really think it's going to be just a defensive slobber knocker, yo. It's going to be because we got 2 mid QBs playing. We got wide receiving cores that are mid as well. And we got offensive lines that are questionable. And then we have 2 good defenses. Now, so far this year, I think the Giants defense has looked better than the Cowboys defense. But the Cowboys defense is picking up right where it left off last year, and they were one of the best defenses in the NFL last year. So I think it's just going to be defense all around. Yeah.
Fun fact: they've allowed the same amount of points in each game than we have. We allowed 20 the first game. They allowed 19. They actually allowed a little bit more. Okay, 3 points more. So they allowed 19 to Tampa Bay. We allowed 20 to Tennessee, and then they allowed 17 to Cincinnati, and we allowed 16 to the Panthers. So very close, very close.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just gonna be 2 really good defenses going up against each other, with 2 offenses that are struggling. And like I said, it's gonna be exactly like Carolina. It's just gonna be whoever makes that 1 or 2 more explosive play that leads to a touchdown is gonna win. And I don't think Zeke has it in him. I think Saquon has it in him. CeeDee Lamb, I don't think has it in him in the sense that he doesn't have the chemistry with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush has more chemistry with that scout team guy. I'm forgetting his name.
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown?
The bootleg CeeDee Lamb, because he looks just like CeeDee Lamb. He looks just like CeeDee Lamb, but he wears 85, and he has the dreads and everything. He's confusing me. But,
and we've seen Sterling Shepard do it week 1, so what's not to say he can't do it this week again. But if the Giants are smart, Brian Daboll, you will play the guy that cut the Cowboys up last year, and that is Kadarius Toney.
Yes. And
they
cut
could
Trayvon
not
Diggs.
For the life. They could not for the life stop him. This man almost had 200 yards on the Cowboys. That's who should be the focus offensively for this game.
And Trayvon Diggs, we forgot to mention him, but he's coming off a really good season, and I mean, give or take, really good season. He allowed a lot of yards.
He's doing the same thing he did last year, which is he could be really anticipatory and really take advantage of getting those interceptions, but he's still allowing like a lot of yards.
Yeah, he's still but I mean, he did shut down Jamar Chase, but I wouldn't say shut down, is that their offense were in shambles. Their offense couldn't get it together. Joe Burrow and that offensive line, so they weren't able to get the ball out to Jamar Chase. And I saw a couple 2 catches were penalties holding on the offense, so it was taken away from Jamar Chase. So I mean, we'll see. I think Jamar Chase was held down to 3 catches, 54 yards, something like that. But that being said, I mean, who else will we have to kind of look at? I'm thinking, Michael Gallup is back in the lineup as well. Michael Gallup was hurt, and now he's coming back against us. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Gallup actually has a history of killing us, okay? I don't know what it is, but Gallup has a history of just killing us. So, I am a little worried about that, to be honest with you. But because I kind of just wanted to focus only on, CeeDee Lamb and freaking bootleg CeeDee Lamb. So there's that. But I'm gonna say that the Giants again is a tough matchup. I had it on my predictions here when I was doing my week 3 predictions for all the NFL. I'm gonna say the Giants win 16-13. Now, I am not confident in the Giants winning. I'll be honest with you, but I'm gonna ride this train. We're 2-0. I want to go 3-0. I want to see.
No. Stop.
What? What?
What did you predict week 1?
A loss.
What did you predict week 2?
A win. So I thought about the same thing. I was like,
Listen,
okay, maybe some reverse psychology would work.
I'm in such a good spot because I predicted a win. You guys know I just went with my heart week 1. It worked out. And then week 2, even at the end of the stream when we had Caitlin Brower on the stream last week, I was like, yeah, I think the Giants are gonna win. I also think that we're gonna win this week. It's just like it's been working. I'm also gonna continue to wear that same Saquon Barkley jersey that I haven't watched yet. You guys see it in the background. It's right above my shoulder.
I haven't watched mine either.
I'm not touching that except for hanging it back up right there and then putting it on Sunday, man, or Monday in this case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I went back to that. I'm like, wait, what did I choose? And I chose the Titans to beat us, and then I chose us to beat Carolina. So, I don't know. I don't really know what to pick here, but I just picked the Giants to win because I'm gonna ride this undefeated train till it falls apart. Hopefully, if we start 4-0, oh my god! Hold on. Let's just say hypotheticals here because I have to preface that because a lot of people are like, you're too optimistic. Okay, say the Giants start out, they do go 4-0, right? They beat Chicago as well. Then we have that 4-game stint with Houston, Jacksonville, Seattle, and what's the last one? Some other team. I don't think it was Detroit because I actually had respect for Detroit. It was another team.
I don't know about my head.
Yeah, me neither. But there was like 4 teams that we thought like, damn, we can get like 3-4 wins out of that. Like, damn, like if we go 4-0 here and then maybe we drop 2 games in that other stint there and like we're 6 wins right there, bro. That's freaking crazy. I told you guys the schedule is easy. Told you. Oh man, but I think the Giants are going to win 16-13. I think it's going to be a field goal game. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be a game of inches to me. So, yeah. Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
Just that you've been incredible with all the innuendos tonight, all the way down to the wire. With it's a game of inches from the beginning. The way you wrote that first title.
Do you want me to bring it back up?
I don't have anything else to say except let's get these last couple of comments, man.
All right. Stan says, y'all do know Jones plays his worst games in those color rush jersey on prime time, right? So we got to see which superstition wins. I agree with you there, but we broke the curse in prime time when we used the color rush against the Eagles, and that's when we finally beat the Eagles and we finally beat a team wearing color rush. So, we were able to do that. We broke the curse, Dan, but I do get what you're saying there. Errol says, man, Jones missed too many open players. We need, I don't, listen, he's all we got. He's all we got right now. You guys just got to deal with it, okay? I'm tired of defending Daniel Jones, and yet I'm tired of, bringing him down, okay? He's our quarterback right now. Just deal with it. Just deal with it. You can't bench him. Who are you going to bench him for? Davis Webb? Because you ain't benching him for Tyrod Taylor. He's garbage, okay? So there's that. I'm not benching Daniel Jones for Tyrod Taylor.
That's what I was saying too, man. I'm not doing that either.
I'm not doing it. I don't care if Daniel Jones throws 5 picks a game, bro. I'm not putting Tyrod Taylor in there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Reese says, you think Kayvon and Aziz will play? I think Kayvon will. I don't think Aziz will. I think Aziz on Twitter. I have no source for that at all besides trust me, bro. So let's see. Yvette says Giants blow a 2-possession lead like they always do in prime time, but they win. He had to put that in 2 separate comments.
But they win.
But they win. Listen, it's gonna be tough. Expect Daniel Jones to really be frustrated this game. Like if you guys thought the pressure that Carolina and Titans gave, like Titans didn't have anybody besides Bud Dupree's okay. Actually, Bud Dupree's pretty damn good, and Jeffrey Simmons. And then you have Carolina and all the guys they had there. They had a lot of guys there. But you got Micah Parsons there, bro. And Micah Parsons changed game, bro. He single-handedly destroys teams for real. And destroys offensive line. So we'll see. He has a tough task there, man. And not only that, when you have when you have a guy like Micah Parsons lined up on the defensive line, it forces, we talked about it earlier, it forces the offensive line to kind of roll his way, and it's going to open up a lot of other gaps that, you could send a linebacker blitz on, or maybe the interior beats a one-on-one inside and gets to Daniel Jones. I mean, like anything can happen when you have a guy as polarizing as Micah Parsons. So, yeah, we'll see. William says the Giants would beat the Cowboys 38-16. William,
I want that so much.
I would love that. Your words to God's ears, bro. Oh my gosh. I would hope so. I would hope so. Cooper Rush. Timothy, good old Tim, says I predict the Giants will beat the Cowboys 31-16 to improve their record to 3-0. And in the words of Bills fans Mark Miller, Dallas is going down. I hope so, man. I hope so. Last time DJ played the Cowboys, he was very aggressive under Jason Garrett, though. Yeah, he was very aggressive, and we'll see what happens there. But time will tell. Time will tell. Argina says, let's trade Saquon. Why would you do that, bro?
He said it earlier. He wants Saquon to perform well so his trade value goes up. I don't know if you saw that earlier.
Wait, that's the only reason why he wants Saquon to play?
Listen, man, they've been crazy with Kenny Golladay tonight. I don't know what's up with Saquon either.
Y'all some slimy people out there, bro. You're like, yeah, that's like fattening up a pig before you slaughter it. it's like here, you can have everything you want to eat because y'all gonna...
Bro, but the earlier comments on Kenny Golladay almost took me out, yo. They were going in for no reason.
Bro, you were reading
that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel kind of bad for him now, yo.
Bro, you were reading such an innocent quote, like, oh, it made a lot of sense. And then it says, but KG just ain't it, yo. I was like,
right?
I was like, what the hell?
I'm telling you, I kind of feel bad for the guy now. I don't even know what's going on. We don't know if he's being truthful either, let's keep it real. We don't know who's being the most truthful in this situation, but I feel sorry for him.
Errol says 24-13. I assume he says Giants win. You guys have some big margins there. I think it's gonna be closer than that, man. At least like a field goal. You gotta give him at least a field goal. Errol says we should have kept Blake. Listen, Blake Martinez.
At this point, I don't know, and I was a big Blake fan. Under that Saquon jersey is a Blake Martinez jersey. Our defense looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
Blake Martinez. Blake saved money too, so you know what I'm saying. So it's all good here.
Blake Martinez, and Jason Pierre-Paul had a workout with the Baltimore Ravens. So
I peeped that. I saw that. Yeah.
Giants. Hopefully they get something. I want to see them. I want to see how they perform. So hopefully they get to get in there and get some play time. And especially JPP, man. He hasn't found a team yet.
Didn't JPP win a Super Bowl with the Bucks?
Yeah.
So why is he out of a job right now?
I don't know. And he's older. He's like 33 years old. They probably.
I guess that could be why.
Yeah, it could be. And he has 8 fingers. So, no one should have that much hate for another man. I know.
I'm telling you, bro.
Where was this energy for Nate Solder, bro?
That's what I'm saying. The comment that said Kenny Golladay got to be like the Giant I hate the most ever. I'm like, you're not serious, bro. Nate Solder exists. Eric Flowers exists. Bro. Evan Ingram exists. Come on. There's way better choices to be made here, man. And that's just in recent history.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Giants need to get rid of Darius Slayton. All right, here we go with Darius Slayton. Why is he still on the team? Honestly, it's fine that he's still on the team because now he's not making a lot. He's making like regular salary, guys. So I don't think anybody should be mad he's on the team. He's actually he should be a serviceable number 4 or 5 wide receiver. They're just not using him, but he's not getting paid that much. So it's really not a concern to me anymore. The only thing that concerned me was his pay. And I'd rather have Darius Slayton out there than bringing some random dude like freaking Jalen Moore we had early on in the season. So, yeah, there's that. Evan Ingram was a likable guy compared to Flowers and Apple. Apple was kind of in an a-hole. So was Flowers. Evan Ingram was all right. He was all right as a person. He cut his hair, bro. He looks so weird now. That man looked like Corbin Blue when he cut his hair. So, but yeah, shout out to Evan Ingram. Of course,
Kid Blue would know all about the High School Musical movies. I'm not surprised.
I grew up with High School Musical. I ain't ashamed to say it, bro. High School Musical was my jam, bro.
Combine that with everything else, bro. Gamer Inches. You know what I'm saying? The first, he just couldn't fit the word defense in there. Sure, you couldn't, bro.
Hold on. If you watch High School Musical, if you guys weren't obsessed with High School Musical for the pure fact of Vanessa Hudgens, and I don't know what you guys.
Now he's capping. He's capping, bro.
What, bro? Are you
He's
kidding me?
tapping out of his
Bro,
mind
she
now,
was-
bro. You know what? I gotta
was
give you
my
props.
dream
I gotta give you
girl.
props. I gotta give you
What?
props. You know why I gotta give you
What?
props, bro? Because that redirect was
What are you
slick.
talking
That was
about?
a slick redirect, yo. All right, that was a slick redirect.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Listen, everyone loved Vanessa Hudgens, bro. All right, everyone loved Vanessa Hudgens. She still fires to this day. To this day,
bro.
To this day,
alright, bro. Let me see. She was
let you see.
alright,
Go
bro.
ahead.
I don't
Go ahead.
think-
Go ahead. She. Oh.
Eh,
What?
eh. Didn't she have
What?
like a lot of her stuff leaked when she was younger too? So that was weird.
Yes,
That was
she
always
did.
weird.
Yes, she did.
You need help, bro. You are a sick person.
Let
You
me
need
tell
help.
you, bro. Let me tell. I was like 9. Okay, so I was like, listen, I was searching. Some of that was fake too.
What's hilarious to me is that her and Zach were like Selena and Justin before Selena and Justin. They always
Yeah, I
got together,
know.
broke up, got together, broke up.
Yeah, and they were together for a while, and then I don't know what happened, but reverse psychology. KB is sick. What are you talking, bro? How am I sick for liking Vanessa Hudgens? Like that's
Nah, that's not what is the other thing, bro.
she was the OG queen, bro.
Uh,
My God. Anyway, people talking about Bobby Hart too. Yeah, Bobby Hart still has it. Bobby Hart got suspended for this week because he got into some altercation in last game. He's with Buffalo now. I can't believe he has a job. I can't believe he protects Josh Allen. That's insane to me. And that they're comfortable of doing that. Let me see. Where's McFadden? None of the other linebackers got any reps last week. So Micah McFadden or Austin Calitro did not see the field, but like less than 15 snaps combined. The Giants went to like a heavy defensive back set. And they're using Tony Jefferson and Julian Love as linebackers pretty much. Same thing with Xavier McKinney. So they just. I honestly, I feel like it's better that way. It's better that way. So
you know what's funny?
Mhm.
The dude she currently dates is Austin Butler. He was the guy that acted as Elvis.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
apparently,
He was also
I'm
on
gonna keep it
Disney
real with
Channel.
you. Oh yeah, I was about to say I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've never heard this dude until the Elvis role, and apparently he's had like Disney Channel roles and stuff.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
He was in Disney Channel, and yeah, I knew, and she chose the wrong one, man. She chose the wrong one. She
What does
should
that
chose
mean,
me.
bro?
That should be me, you know. So
She don't know you, little bro.
but I know her.
Oh, he looked way different as a teen. That's why I don't recognize him. He looks like he had surgery on his. We're getting way off topic, but
I know he looks like
this
Tom
dude
Brady
had
now.
surgery on his face.
Yeah, he definitely did
Yeah,
Tom Brady look.
he has jaw fillers now, and like he definitely did some work on it. He looks kind of terrible now compared to what he looked like before. He looked good before, yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
Damn, you hate to see it, man.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Yeah, Austin Butler is probably the luckiest guy on planet Earth right now. I'll just say that. But guys, we're gonna end this up now. We passed the 10:30 mark, but we went a little over, and things got crazy the Young Guns way. So thank you guys so much for joining. By the way, you didn't give us did you give a score prediction?
No, I didn't give a score prediction on the other ones either. So
Oh, you're just gonna keep it that way.
yeah, I'm keeping everything the same.
I got you.
I'm so superstitious with it. I'm keeping everything the same so that we go 3-0.
I got you. Oh yeah. Also, we didn't even talk about Jalen Smith being signed, but I mean, we'll see if we see him there, and he also against the Cowboys. So we'll see if we see him against the Cowboys. But all right, guys. So that being said, we will see you guys next week for another edition of the Young Guns after the Cowboys game on Cush's channel, and then we'll be previewing the Chicago game next week, but we won't be there for the Chicago, like we won't be streaming for that game because we will be at the game, so you guys won't see a stream from us after that Cowboys game going to Chicago. So I mean, this is a really early sort of notification for you guys, but letting you guys know. So that being said, we will see you guys next week.
Peace.